Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. So for today, we are going to continue with our catching unit. So for today, we are going to go over a small catching review, and then we will get into a catching mini game that you guys will be able to do at home today. So, catching. For this catching activity, you guys are going to be able to use a sock ball or a plastic grocery bag or the scarf that comes in your music equipment. Now, the cool thing about this is you're going to have the choice. So the sock ball is going to be the hardest one out of the three. Now, if you are unable to be successful with that sock ball or you're struggling, feel free to use that plastic bag or a scarf, depending on your needs. If one challenge is easy for you, go ahead and use a sock ball, or if it's too hard with the sock ball, go ahead and switch back to the plastic bag or scarf. You can switch back and forth whenever you feel that you need to make sure that you are challenging yourself but still being successful for today. Now, here's what catching looks like. So just before we get into everything, if we're looking at our demonstrator here, we can see that his eyes look up towards that beanbag. So he is tracking it with his eyes. He is also tracking that to go back into his hands. So what I mean by this is his hands also extend above his head. So he's doing this all at the same time. His eyes look up, hands reach up out in front of him. He tracks that beanbag into his hands, and then he catches it. What he is not doing is he is not using his body to help him catch that beanbag. We really want to focus on using our hands and our hands only. So to break it down again, we want to extend our arms or our hands out towards the ball. So our demonstrator here is reaching up high into the sky, trying to reach for that ball. We are also watching the ball up in the air land back into our hands. So it's very important that our hands go high so that we can look through them and see that ball landing into our hands. Once again, we only use our hands. We are not waiting for that ball to come and hit our chest or our belly and then catch it. We want to make sure we use our hands first. The next step is that after we catch the ball, then we can pull that ball in towards our body and secure it. And if we are playing a game like football, that's when you would curl over it and then you really secure that ball when you're going to run with it. We really want to make sure that we are reaching high into the sky, trying to catch that ball with our hands, and that our eyes are tracking it from in the air back into our hands until we can finally secure that ball. All right, so step number one, reaching for the ball. Step number two, he is grabbing that ball with his hands. Step number three, we kind of call this give or absorb the force of the ball. So we want to pretend like that ball is an egg. If we don't give a little cushion to that ball and it was an egg, the egg would crack on us. So we want to make sure that we are absorbing it and giving it a little cushion. So here it is, up high in the sky. Eyes are looking at that beanbag. Arms go up, catches it with his hands, and then you can see that he slightly absorbs it when that beanbag touches his hands. His hands slightly move down towards the ground. So go ahead and take this time to practice some tossing in your own space. So what you can do here is you can practice, maybe do a couple tricks here and there on your own. And what you can do is you can pause this video for about 30 seconds just to get warmed up and then come back and hit play. All right. Well, now that you've done your own practicing in your own time, it is time to go ahead and play our little miniature mini game of challenges. So we are going to see how many times you can toss your sock ball or your plastic bag or scarf up into the air and catch it in a matter of 30 seconds. So here's our timer. Alright, tossing that ball or that plastic bag up into the air for 20 every time you catch it successfully, give yourself a point. Hurry up, 3, 2, 1, and freeze. Okay, no more tossing or catching. So hopefully we were able to catch at least 2 in a matter of 30 seconds. Now, if you are having difficulty with that, make sure that you are reaching towards that ball, trying to use your hands and watching it land in your hands. Nice job, everybody. Now, moving on to our next one. So this challenge, you are going to have to toss it up in the air, and I'm going to have you clap twice today. Give you a little bit more of a challenge. Clap twice, and then try and catch it. So once again, you have 30 seconds. Ready? And here we go. Alright, we're about halfway done here. Toss it up, clap twice, catch that ball. Winding down, 3, 2, 1, and freeze. Awesome job. Now, here is a little tip I have for everybody. If you are someone who is not that great of a catcher, let's not worry about how fast that we can do this. Let's set ourselves a small goal. That means you get to take your time, right? Slow it down a little bit, take your time, and then maybe you will be able to get at least 2 to 3 catches per challenge. Now, those of you that are really good, what you can also do to help your ability to catch the ball is you can actually speed it up a little bit and give yourself a lower toss. So the easiest way to slow it down is give yourself a reasonably high toss up in the air, maybe 2 arm lengths above your head. And if you're someone who wants to speed it up because you're a good catcher, throw it up a little bit lower or not as high in the air, maybe about an arm length above your head. Okay? So let's think about that for our next challenge, depending on what it is. All right, for this one, you are going to have to toss it up in the air, touch your knees, and then catch it. So if you're having trouble, give yourself some more time, toss it higher into the air. If you are doing pretty good, try focusing on not tossing it as high. All right, here we go. And go. 30 seconds starting. All right, freeze. Great job, everybody. Hopefully our scores are doing a little bit better than when we practiced this on the first day. So once again, these are challenges, guys. These are not made to be too easy for you. They are made to challenge you and be hard, but at the same time, be slightly successful. So that means if you're doing at least 1 or 2 catches, you are doing a great, great job. Anything more than that means you are just a stellar catcher. All right, on to our next one. We are going to toss that ball up into the air. We are going to get really low to the ground, touch our toes, and then go ahead and catch it. So once again, to make this easier, we want to go ahead and throw that ball or toss that ball higher up into the air. Okay. Ready, set, and go. Awesome job, guys. All right. And now we have toss, a jumping jack, and a catch. Whoa, this one sounds pretty tricky. So, once again, lots of movement in between the toss and the catch. Give yourself a nice high toss. Make sure we are doing a full jumping jack, tracking that ball with our eyes, reaching out in front of us or high into the sky, catching that ball with our hands. All right, here comes toss, jumping jack, and catch. Ready, set, go! Freeze. Awesome job, everybody. All right, our next challenge, toss, squat towards the ground, and then stand back up and catch that ball. So we are tossing up high to the sky, squatting down towards the ground, standing back up, catching that ball. Here we go. And go. Four, 3, 2, 1, 0. Freeze. Awesome job. All right, we are getting towards the hard challenges here. How many times can you toss, jump halfway in a circle, and catch it? So it's almost like a full 360, but you are only jumping and spinning halfway around. Okay? So remember, we're not doing a full circle. We're only turning half away around. All right, here we go. And go. Freeze. Awesome job, everybody. Make sure we're freezing. We're not extending that at all. So that means if that ball's up in the air, you can go ahead and catch it and then freeze. There's no more tossing after that round is over. All right, now the toughest, the hardest, oh my goodness, is this one even possible? We need to toss that ball up into the air, do a push-up, and catch it. Now this for sure should almost be for certain be one that you use a plastic grocery bag or a scarf. You're going to have so much more time to get down to the ground to do your push-up and then try and catch it before it hits the ground. If you're using a sock ball for this one, man, it is going to be hard. However, best of luck to you. But if you want to be super, super successful with this one, I highly recommend you use a plastic bag or a scarf. Because remember, we are tossing up in the air, getting down to the ground, doing a push-up, and catching it. All right, here we go. Go. And we're halfway done. Awesome job. All right, so for today, that is all the challenges that we have for you guys. So hopefully that these challenges went a little bit better than when we first practiced these. However, for our catching unit And anytime we catch, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are tracking that ball with our eyes. So we're looking up at it in the air, wherever it is. We are extending our arms out towards that ball or target that is coming towards us. We want to make sure our hands are open. We catch it with using only our hands. And then once we catch it with our hands, we can tuck it in and bring it back towards our body. Okay? But that is all the time we have for today, guys. Feel free to go back and work on these challenges, however, or whenever you want to get more practice in. But that is all the time we have for today. So I will go ahead and I will see you later. Have a good rest of the day, everybody.